This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
Alright, so I'm doing this real quick as just a test. I have created a fix to one of the problems that we've had when it comes to lighting. Check this out. If I flick this switch on right here, oh, I am lit! I have finally fixed the issue. Like, look, now I'm evenly lit no matter what. I'm excited. Okay, so as a kicker to what we're doing behind the scenes, this is number one. I now have a mount on top of the light, alright, on top of the camera, alright. So we have taken the aperture light my dad and my stepmom got me, okay, this $80 light, and we put it on top of the Canon 60D. Thanks to 3D printing over here. So I went and retightened the belt. These small pieces worked fine. Now, to the person who I am making this commission for, I am sorry. These are the ridge lines I was talking about. Hopefully, I can fix these. I do need to go get a new roll of filament, but we will be replacing the belts on this printer down here, alright, and then slowly start working on this printer. Fortunately, we have a very sad announcement. Mando in Chief will be canceled until further notice. Mainly because I still can't find the goddamn iPad. I would love to be able to use this camera to shoot the movie. The only problem is I don't have a lens that has a wide enough depth of field to shoot minis, and that's going to cost me well over $80 to $100. So I would rather wait until we find my iPad and we reuse that. But we're going to be working on the sequel to How to Play Guitar because that's what Nick wants to do. So first off, I went and bought a green screen from my buddy Manoa. Hello. Hi, Lucas and Spencer and Luna. So I bought the green screen from him, and now we'll be able to start doing background stuff. We're going to be messing with that this Friday. Today's Monday, so now the next thing I gotta go do is I need to learn how to blow up a house. Now, Luke, you're probably wondering, how are you going to do that? I can assure you, it's a very simple process. Using a program called Blender, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I had this idea of a shot. It's zoomed in really close on his face. It zooms out really quickly to establish a wide shot with his house behind him and the guitar, and he goes and strums down on the guitar, and the house explodes. How I'm gonna do that, I have no idea. I've got an idea where to start. So my plan is to take a 3D model of the house, basically create a rough structure, like a rough shape of it in Blender. Photo project the house, like video, a picture of the house onto the model, so that way I can get that texture, and then blow it up in the computer. Problem, I have no idea how to do any of that, so I'm gonna have to go on a whole bunch of YouTube watching things to figure out how to do that. It is 11:02 tonight. It is Monday the 28th. So tomorrow I'm looking at possibly what am I doing? Drugs! Tomorrow I get off at 4 p.m. so I'm hoping when I get off at 4 I come straight back here and I start watching videos and tutorials about how to do that. So I'm really hoping that I can do that. I think I'm going to start with just how to blow something up in Blender. I think that's the basic of what I'm doing essentially. But it'll be my first time really implementing like a 3D animation and composite shot, exporting it through Blender, transparent, and then layering it into hit film for the final composite. I know how I want to shoot it. From my understanding of VFX, it is super simple. Like super simple. I should be able to do this. Will I be able to? I have no idea, but we're gonna find out. I'm absolutely mad at myself. So before I get into the visual effects of what I'm trying to do, I'm just going to explain to you my mistake right now, so that way you don't make the same mistake. Make a packing list of the that you take with you when you go film something. I am absolutely livid right now because this is my backup camera that I'm currently using. Currently, you are looking at me through a Canon Rebel T6. And the Canon Rebel T6 is a starting kit camera, so it's still really good quality, not bashing on the quality at all. It's just that if I'm going to shoot a film or if I'm just going to shoot regular BTS and I don't need a second camera, I'm using the Canon 60D. I was going to shoot it, but there's a couple things that I ran into. I got the camera level, I got it set up. I went and 3D printed a mount to use a film light my dad got me, right? So that way I'm nice and lit in the front, and no matter where the camera is pointing, there will always be light facing the subject. That was the idea. I took it with me to Nick's house. And this is why the video didn't go out last week, is because we got so distracted.
Bring it on! To the real master! I try to say, Your Honor, Haley!
To show off some of the stuff that I had and showed off the part, I took this whole contraption apart, didn't bother putting it all back together, and so I don't have all the pieces. So the part that connects this piece to this piece is not here. It is at my cousin's house, along with the battery and charger for my good camera, because I packed it specifically in the event that, hey, while we're shooting in front of the green screen, because that's what we were supposed to be doing, in case the camera batteries died, I even took my laptop along with the hard drive that runs the entire business so I could back up the footage while the camera batteries were dead. That sounded smart. Didn't bother to pack that. I thought, because you already called me saying that I forgot a charger, I didn't know I was forgetting two. Really pissed off about that. For a guy who is smart enough to 3D print attachments for his cameras, plural, I completely forgot the things that I needed. I'm absolutely, positively pissed off at myself. With that said, I'm now going to break down what I have and explain where I'm going to go going forward. I'm basically going to dumb it down, but the video created by Surface Studio is the tutorial that I followed, but this is a very, overall, oversimplified breakdown of what I've done. I essentially went in, created a cube, using a pen tool, was able to scribble on the cube, the computer calculated that cube into chunks. I then took a model of a sphere, shrunk it down to 0, animated it to expand, and then quickly shrink back in, sending all the fragments outward to mimic an explosion. But then I exported all of it and I messed with the effects and basically was able to create a lens flare effect in hit film, spin it around, and when it shrunk back in, I took a still image of the cube, kind of deformed it to puff it out a little bit, and then let it cut to the animation. So that way it looked like it was expanding and then explodes. I also have this clip. Now we have a transparent video of the explosion. So then I went and added a background to it that was more in line with the conditions of what we're going to shoot.
May I draw your attention to the screen?
Alright, we're just gonna roll with it. Alright, Gabe, can you see the screen? Gabe? So, this footage is what I was able to simulate in the computer. I have a background that kind of represents what I was going for. But, this is the basic, kind of explosion effect of just the simulation. Alright, that's the test explosion. And then I have the more actually, animated, effects explosion.
It kind of just looked like a cube.
So, the test effect was to see if I could blow up an object. So I can now confirm that I can blow up an object. Because this is your video, do you want to do that house exploding shot that I've talked to you about over the last couple of weeks?
I don't know what that would look like because that just looks like a cube. The blowing up effect is weird. Because it doesn't feel like an explosion. It feels more like...
Well, because there's no fire, there's no smoke. All this test was to see if I could simulate basically turning an object into debris and then flinging said debris. That was the whole goal of this.
So how do you plan on skinning that?
So now that I know how to take apart an object, I would have to, since because you were talking about how you don't want your house necessarily on tape, we could then go either find a CG house to download, or I can model one in the computer, and then I can make that explode. And then I take that footage into HitFilm, where then I can add the fire and the light, or actually the light would have to be in the render. That, the smoke, the camera shake, all of that stuff. Basically, I just put in all the layers in HitFilm. Right now, I was just trying to figure out if we could do that 3D layer of being able to blow up something, which now I've proven that we have that in our toolbox. We can use it. My question is, do you want to use the tool for your project?
Sure.
Okay, cool beans. So with that said, on the list of that we have to do, because obviously we don't have the wig.
I think I'm gonna look really funny with a wig and my hair being so long, and I think that's gonna make it even funnier.
I think so too. The next hurdle that I see us facing is keying out hair, because hair specifically on a green screen is really difficult to do. So there's a couple things that we're definitely gonna need to do. We're gonna need to make sure that the screen is evenly lit, and then we need to, and which is mainly a thing I have to remember, is that we have to shoot at a really high shutter speed, so that way the hair doesn't blur on camera for an easier key. I will definitely look up more on how to deal with hair and keying hair, so then that way we can hopefully get around that as best as we can. We need to figure out what we're gonna do for a wig.
It's a wig. How hard is that?
Well, there's other types of wigs that look different, so that's, I think...
We need that mullet wig.
Right, so I'm thinking tomorrow, because we just got Patreon money, so we have a budget. Can you come over tomorrow after work, and then we both go through and see what we can find, and make a day out of it?
Sure.
Gabe, why haven't you said anything? You make me sad.
Who's a
To be completely honest, we could probably shoot most of your video while we're testing it. I could bring my laptop, so then that way I can try to do some VFX while we're there. So I think one of the things I'll look into is figure out maybe if there's a way we could just plug my camera directly into my computer, and then we can just directly record on the computer, and I can edit the VFX. I can like put in basic VFX in the computer and see how shots are coming out. So tomorrow, you come over. We're gonna immediately go on Amazon and not get distracted with Pokemon Dungeons and Dragonite.
Sure.
We're gonna go get the wig, and then depending on when the wig is delivered, we then plan a shoot date at your house so we can get this video made.
Will there be crackers?
You know what? I actually did buy a bunch of crackers, so yes, I will have crackers for you when you get here.
Alrighty, and that is the end of the video. If you have any questions about the process and what we're doing, go ahead and comment them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and it may help influence the next video that we do. Secondly, if you want to watch more of our content, check out this video right here from the other bits of our channel and see what else we've been up to. Or if you want to check out the original video that we're making a sequel to, that'll be right here for you. Standing here awkwardly.